Again, to the legend that is Jimmy Joe Savage, thank you so much for making your way from Legacy Studios in East Liverpool. Tomorrow night, the Traveling Roadshow continues. We'll be on the campus of Geneva College with Gino DeMarco, previewing, of course, the NFL. It is the Steelers, Minnesota, Sunday at 1, but we're also going to get caught up on the Golden Tornadoes' big win last week against Bethany, so that's tomorrow night. All right, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, our show coming up. Manischewitz Stripes products, of course. You can also pick up that great Manischewitz wine at a fine wine and spirit store near you. Before we talk about this, what about cooking with wine? The great Art Manji. What do you need to know when it comes to cooking with wine besides drinking it while you're stirring your sauce?
Don't waste the real good stuff. I mean, really. I mean, if you're good, why do you don't need to put.
Wait. What are you going to say?
Well, my wife uses familiar cranberry. It's about $9 a gallon.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It brings out the flavor just like the expensive wine.
But you don't need to put like a $30 bottle of wine into a beef brisket. You don't. You know, you're going to reduce it. You're going to make a sauce out of it. You're adding it for flavor. Save that $30 bottle of wine and drink it with your wife.
I know. That's a great idea. Listen, you know, I have so many friends that are of the Jewish faith, and so many, and I just really want you to know how much you mean to me, and I know this is a very important holiday, and I tried, Joe and I, because he understands as well, too. He grew up in Stanton Heights, had many young neighbors as a kid growing up that were the Jewish faith, so we get it, and we say mazel tov, and we hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. All right, matzo ball soup. Let's talk matzo ball soup. This would be your dinner appetizer. I absolutely love it. It's kind of, I can't explain it. It's the broth, it's the matzo balls, but there's something warm and comforting about it. And it really is just about on every menu that is any Jewish holiday.
Well, even though I have a lot of Jewish friends, I think the first time I tasted matzo ball soup was when Nan Cohen brought it in last year. But then, and it was excellent. It was really good. I mean, you have to have somebody to be able to cook it authentic Jewish, though. Somebody that knows the recipes handed down for generations.
And Nan's lovely mother and obviously her wonderful husband, they are all Jewish all the time. That's why we love them. Butternut squash is a part of the Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur menu. Tell me about cooking with vegetables, Art Manji.
Well, it's the hardest thing about butternut squash is peeling it. It's like peeling a rock. I mean, it literally is. Once you get it peeled, and like I say, that's 90% of the game. You know, you just cube it up, either boil it or steam it to cook it. And once again, it's like a potato. Put a toothpick in it, put a tip of a knife blade in it, so it's soft, and then you can do anything you want with it. You can mash it. You can saute it off with some apples.
Isn't he good?
I would say you could cook it with bacon, but it's not really the Jewish thing to do.
No. You wouldn't be invited back, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Noodle kugel. The cinnamon, sugar, and butter topping gives the top of a kugel a beautiful brown crispiness. So what's a kugel?
Well, I think you just explained it.
I know.
Yeah.
I
I remember Kenny Parks used to be in our run a deli at one of our stores, and he had me taste kugel once, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. There again, you have to know how to make it.
Well, it's.
Did you ever make a kugel?
No, I never have.
No, because that's not his expertise, you know.
I had a family that was the kugels at a gas station. I think I still owe them money, as a matter of fact. Good people. Potato kugel with sautéed shallots. So obviously it's a potato with shallots.
Once again, it's not my forte, but I would just imagine it's potatoes and noodles baked together, and shallots is a cross between an onion and a garlic clove. And I know he has them in his produce area, and you just peel them and clean them, and they're real mild and sweet.
And that's what gives it the flavor.
And that's what gives it the flavor.
All right, listen. This is a definite on Passover menus. We do a show on that as well too. And it's also great for the high holidays for those little gluten-free souls that just want to be healthy. Okay, so you can get that as well too, and also very savory too when it comes to a noodle kugel dessert. Something you may want to think about. This sounds really good. I like anything with pickles or anything that's pickled. String beans with pickled shallots and mustard dressing.
Listen, nobody made better pickles than Mrs. Rosen. I mean, they were crunchy, had just enough garlic in them, and I mean, I guess she would cure them. It only take a few days or so. I mean, but nobody made them as good as Mrs. Rosen.
That's the new thing. Put pickle. Everybody's pickling everything.
Yeah, I know.
Making in-house chefs are making in-house cucumbers, pickled onions to go on sandwiches, pickled onions to go on certain dishes, pickled mushrooms, pickled carrots. It's the new thing.
All right, here we go. Brisket.
Yeah, out of this world.
Yeah.
That and Boar's Head has a brisket that they put out in the stores, and my daughter Jody just took some sliced Boar's Head brisket, put some horseradish cheese on it,
Ooh.
and horseradish, I think it's horseradish cheddar if I'm not mistaken, and she let it melt on it like in a casserole. She said it was out of this world.
And
so
by
there you are. You don't have to be a great cook, a great Jewish cook. Just know the products to put into it.
and also roasted chicken as well.
What's the matter with that?
No. Nothing. I just think that's nice.
How do you think they make the broth for the matzo ball
Yeah.
soup?
And
They use the bones from the chicken,
Right.
from the roasted chicken for the matzo ball soup.
and it's something else too. You got to have dessert. Apple cake with caramel glaze.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very good. So that's our salute. We'll do much more on Sunday. So for all of you out there, we need your help. Those of you of the Jewish faith, we hope you will call in this Sunday. You can reach us, 866-391-1020, Dollar Bank, Instant Access, KDK.com. And remember to find the Coons Market nearest you, coonsmarket.com. Now, Italy. Okay? These are the top things that people bring back from Italy on a regular basis. And you were there in 73, and you said you brought none of those back.
Why was it allowed?
Okay, that's right. Let's just give you a couple. Coffee. Now, I've never had other than
Medaglia
espresso.
d'Oro.
Huh?
Medaglia d'Oro.
Okay.
It's an imported coffee.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's
So why do we have to go bring it in if you're talking?
Yeah, I know.
Well, somebody brings it in. Is it? I'm pretty. You're probably not familiar with Medaglia d'Oro. Huh?
I am.
Okay, isn't that imported? I
It's an
believe?
imported coffee.
Right. Yeah.
Like I said, it's an imported coffee. We imported it from Coons Market in Hopewell. Hey, listen, extra virgin olive oil.
That stuff's like liquid gold.
Does it really make that
Yes,
much?
I mean there are so many different tastes, from Italian olive oil to Greek olive oil to French olive oil. It's just night and day.
And every time I think of olive oil, I think of Marlon Brando in The Godfather. And this is an inside joke for my dear friend. He'll know exactly what I mean by this. Every time I would see him and something in business he was negotiating or dealing, he would always finish by saying, "And for you, the rent stays the same." That's all I'm saying. He'll know exactly what I mean by that. Okay, tuna in virgin olive oil.
Do you stock that? It starts with a G. It's a little can like
Genova.
Genova.
Right. Oh yeah.
That's a delicious olive. That's
Oh,
a
it's-
delicious tuna.
It's the best. It's the best. It's just
You know, this is really healthy stuff, some of this stuff we're talking about.
Well, sure.
Well, your dad grew up in Sicily, a fishing village, so he knows all too well about fishing.
Well, let me tell you a little story. That,
Okay.
Whenever I was a little kid, I was maybe about 8 or 9, 10 years old, and my dad and I were down on Penn Avenue down at the produce shores, and there was a fish market there called Sam the Fish Man.
Right.
Sam Greco was his name, and we were walking down Penn Avenue, and Sam was out on the sidewalk cutting up a tuna. It was about 75 pounds of tuna there. Yeah.
Right.
So he was coming down to the tail end. So my dad asked me, he said, "Sam, what are you going to do with the tail whenever you get down there?" He says, "Why? Do you want it?" He says, my dad says, "Yeah, we can talk about it." He says, "Come back in about 45 minutes. He says, I'll be ready for the tail." So my dad bought a 25-pound piece of tail. I told him, I said, "Mama's going to kill you. That's all muscle. What do you know? Come on, you know." He says, "You see what I do with it." We took it home, and he cut around all the muscle, just cut strips about 3 inches long by about 1 inch wide, and then he got a crock, and after he cut up the tuna, he put it first a layer of salt, then the tuna, another layer of salt, till the crock was full. He put it away. It was like in August. Then come Christmas, he brought it out and had it at Christmas. We had a Christmas dinner. He cured the tuna. It cost him, I think Sam had charged him like 10 cents a pound. It cost him $2.50 for 25 pounds of tuna. You know, so but that's the things that the Europeans could do, because he was a fisherman in Italy, and there was no refrigeration. Yeah, they had to keep it somehow, so they would cure it instead of using any type of refrigeration.
All right, now, the last thing, cannolis. It's the most enjoyable and the most incredible treat on the
The
face.
secret's in the shell, right, Art?
I think the secret's on the inside.
You like? Well, you know, the filling isn't that difficult. To get a good thin cannoli shell is hard to do from scratch.
I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. See, I like cannolis the day after when the shell gets a little bit soft.
Do you ever?
Because
Now, there's a secret that I've been taught, so they last longer. You dip them in chocolate.
the shell.
You dip the shell in chocolate. You get the coating on the inside. You put the ricotta mascarpone on the inside, and then they don't get soggy. You can get like maybe
That's a
2
good
days
idea.
out of it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, back whenever we were young, they used to put different types of dried fruit right in the filling too. Nobody does that anymore because it gets too expensive. You know, I mean, papaya they used to use.
Yeah, all the fruitcake,
Yeah.
fruitcake.
Well, the fruitcake stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a fruitcake left over from 1965. And if I can get a couple more, I'm actually going to put an addition on the house. But I'll leave you with this. The best thing, a little shot of anisette or Zambuca with anything. There's nothing like, the last one I had with you, all I can say is I've hadn't having to trim my eyebrows since we were together. But delicious. But Zambuca, incredible. All right, as we say goodbye, what's happening here at this wonderful place that you call your home, away from home, 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 home? You never, ever
I've
go.
never ever called it home. We're just busy. Got a lot of parties going on. You know, the dining room is kind of slow right now because it's where kids go back to school and everybody spends their money on the kids instead of going out, you know, having dinner here and dinner there. So banquet-wise, it is just incredible.
All right, before we go, I just want to tell you, my good friend Pete Mackey wanted me to remind everyone again, Italian Heritage Days coming to the beautiful Heinz History Center October 1st, and Guy Costinick Group in Bloomfield. Of course, Dom and everyone, Paul getting ready, and Jay Costa for, you guessed it, the annual Columbus Day Parade, and that's on October 7th. Ciao, good night from the Club at Shadow Lakes. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. All right.